You're listening to the Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast, and I'm Lou Temlett. I'm guessing you're having a good day because either you've been on the mats, considering getting on the mats, or maybe you're looking to continue rolling and be merry. I'm so happy you're here listening or watching this episode. Please don't tap out before the end. When you want to help people grow in confidence, start training Jiu-Jitsu. I'd like to welcome Danni Thomas-Watson and Karen McGurran to my podcast. Hi Danni, hi Karen, how are you?
Hello, how you doing? We're good, thank you. Thanks for having us.
You are very welcome. It's lovely to see you again. Having met you in the middle of 2024 at the Her Fight Network Heretics matchups and kind of not necessarily invitational, but I was a very new week-old blue belt at the time. And I was kind of petrified. So I was in my own space. But I met you both there and we kind of chatted in the pub afterwards. But talk to me about that experience and what it means to have female only invitationals and kind of, events like that.
It's fun. It's definitely an experience when that many women come together to enjoy jiu-jitsu together and have that competitive nature, but also the friendly side of it as well. Like, we were all competing against each other, but later afterwards, everybody's sitting in the pub having the crack. And that's what I really love about jiu-jitsu and the community, that it brings people together and it brings very like-minded women together. To have that experience. And we were on holiday. We were training on holiday, jumped into the charity competition and just thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great.
Absolutely. I think it's always really nice when you're away from home and you've got your kit and you're training away and there's opportunities that come up like that. Were you ready? How did you approach that, having, being on holiday and showing up for a competition?
It was actually my idea. I kind of threw us under the bus for it. We planned to go to London Grapple, who our head coach is Ross Nichols. So we were visiting, doing a bit of training at London Grapple, and I just so happened to see the ad for the competition. So I said, sure, to Karen, let's go and do this. Why not? We're in town anyway, and we did. So, but it was great. It was a good opportunity to network with other, like Karen says, like-minded women in that kind of environment, in that setting.
Yeah. Now, I know some of us feel quite out of our depth, maybe socially, outside of jiu-jitsu, and showing up at an event like Her Fight Network and then going to the pub afterwards with women you don't know normally feels quite unsettling. But you're right in saying it was a great networking opportunity and it was just a really good, fun vibe. And actually, sometimes you don't really know who you're sat next to. And it was a pleasure meeting both of you across the table with our beverages that sunny evening.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful day and evening. And yeah, the crack was 90. It was great. Yeah.
What did you personally both get out of being involved in that kind of situation, the fight and the social afterwards? How did you kind of grow and what did you take away from that experience?
Not to get knee barred.
Danni got knee barred quite
quickly. I was probably too chill for the event. I was probably far too relaxed, shall we say. But yeah, no, it was great. I went for the fun factor. I didn't really have my competitive hat on. Like I say, I was on holiday, so I was just there for training, and thought it would be a great thing to get involved in for a really good cause. But yeah, not to get knee barred is probably a good way to go.
Good. I think that's a good takeaway for all of us. Just having, I was really quite heartwarmed listening to you in the pub afterwards, and just your approach. It certainly much more matched my approach in my jiu-jitsu journey than something very serious, something very, very competitive. but there's also a balance for being competitive. But tell me about the benefits for approaching it with something more lighthearted and fun, where it just kind of fills your heart and you walk away with a smile and not getting knee bars.
Yeah, I think competitions in general can be quite stressful. Like they are. There's heightened emotions. There's pressure you put on yourself. Not usually from your teammates or your coaches, but I think when we do invitationals or competitions that are for charity or are of a more relaxed atmosphere, it can increase your bandwidth for these things. So you can ease yourself in gently. You can prepare. You can get your game plan off a little bit more, or you can just enjoy yourself a little bit more and experience the nerves, experience how you work through those nerves if you feel them at all. Some people don't. And enjoy the experience as opposed to it being a high pressure environment. If you go to your local competitions, we do a lot of empires and grappling industries, or the next level if you do a lot of IBJJF, which we do as well. And I think our towards competing is a little bit different. We like to go as a team. We like to enjoy ourselves. Win or lose, everybody has a great day. And I think that's really important to us as well. Even when you do go to the IBJJF competitions, you're going for fun. You are going to make new connections, to make new friends. Nearly every person that we compete against, you end up becoming friends with afterwards. Just because it's an intense experience and you want to take the most out of it. You want to be able to enjoy the experience without being petrified. And I think
absolutely
comes, and I think that's kind of our whole club is like that. When we go to a local competition, we'll all go together. We're all there to support each other, and we're all there to have fun. So
amazing. Now, Mills and Katie did a fantastic job, and I hadn't actually appreciated. I think before that invitational, I'd done one competition, but I hadn't also appreciated the less amount of stress going into something like that, where you know that the space is being held, you're in a safe space, you can practice as a female competing against equal rank and kind of weight category. And I think that's really important because often when we are training in different clubs, unless we seek out those similar ranks, similar weight, sometimes we don't come across them until such time that we compete. How important is it to kind of build our resilience for fighting equal ranks and weight categories?
I think it's both. It's really important to do that at competition, but it's also really important to be able to roll with all different shapes and sizes and genders. Like across the board, you need to be able to roll with everybody, because any gym that you go into, especially as a female, you'd be lucky if you find another female of the same belt rank. You have to go to, that's why we go to competition, so you can test yourself against people that are of the same matchup, but you have to be able to roll with everybody. Going into nice, safe gym environments is how you learn how to do that, and in your own gym at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, having that outlook in rolling with everyone, or as many bodies as possible, I've heard it described before, I think is always great experience. Talk to me about both of you, some of your competition history and background, and the fact that you've both, Danni, you've been promoted to brown belt recently, and Karen, you are now purple belt. Talk to me about your own progressions through training and competing.
Training wise, I suppose the intensity gets kicked up a few notches in the run up. A lot of the elite athletes, they would have a camp in preparation towards any kind of big competition. I wouldn't say I take myself that seriously. A 35-year-old, I still need to get to work after the competition, so I'm not going in there to remove any heads or take any limbs. So I'm not probably training to that kind of intensity, but I would definitely put a good bit more effort, just probably more consistency, and just holding myself to a bit more account and being a bit more disciplined. And that gets more complicated as well if you're looking to cut weight. You've got to take these into consideration as well. But I think the intensity gets boosted in the drum up towards, but ultimately I've never really particularly enjoyed competing. It was probably Karen that got me more into the competition side, and I completely understand it is necessary. I think it's healthy. It's good to put yourself out of your comfort zone, and I think competitions are a really excellent way to test the waters in that way. But yeah, I've never been a particular fan of competing. I've got Karen to thank for that. But yeah, it's good. I enjoy it more now than I ever did before.
Girls that come together, stay together. It's important to me to compete. And to have Danni and have the rest of the guys along. There's been some competitions that I've done when I've gone on my own, and yeah, it's not the same. You don't get the same buzz. You don't get the same support. And win or lose, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I just came home from Masters Euros in Barcelona, and that was an amazing trip. And I had lots of teammates around me. It was great crack. Probably you have the most amount of crack off the mats than you do on the mats. But it was a successful trip. I really enjoyed it. And Danni, you did Lisbon, Euros at the beginning of the year. And we like to have competitions booked in the diary. We have a wall diary here of all the competitions that we're going to do for the rest of the year.
Amazing. So Karen, where does competitive edge come from for you?
Oh,
I just born with it. Born with it.
I guess it's not necessarily go and win. That's not the vibe that I have. I want to go and have the experience, win or lose.
Yeah.
Really enjoy the experience. And some people say that, so if you don't push yourself hard enough or you don't want to win enough, maybe that is true, but I enjoy the whole day. I get a buzz out of it. And if I win, if I lose, great. I've had the experience, I've met people, and you get to, as long as you're not injured, you get to come back to the mats.
I love it once it's
what I was trying to get at, Karen, was, is there anything else in your life where you kind of, give yourself a run for your money in activities and competing and putting yourself out there for these, seemingly hard, difficult things?
No, I think jiu-jitsu is that for me. I run a couple of I'm quite lucky in my job. It's not super stressful. I have a bottle shop, so selling booze to people is not overly stressful in Ireland. So jiu-jitsu is where I test myself, where I push myself, where I get that feedback, and where I challenge myself.
Amazing. Thank you for elaborating a little bit more on that. I was trying to dig, but you're being both very diplomatic. Now, I will get there again over a table and a drink next time. So you're both involved and kind of set up Nossa BJJ. Talk to me briefly about where that originated from and where the idea came from and how long you've been running it for.
So we've had Nossa now since November 23. It was set up with the aim of having a welcoming, open, airy, clean, safe space for pretty much everybody to come and train in the art that we all know and love, which is jiu-jitsu. And that was kind of the core ethos behind it as well, is to have a space where anyone can come in and enjoy it. The name itself, or not, came to me in a dream. Okay, in a dream. I don't actually know how or why or what I'd eaten the night before, but yeah, it turns out Nossa was Portuguese, so it actually fit quite well. It kind of rolled off the tongue quite nicely.
I instantly hated it. I instantly hated it. I needed time. I definitely needed some time. Yeah, it was a grower.
Okay, we're now hearing and seeing the true Danni and Karen.
We have both very different roles in the gym. Danni is definitely most focused and disciplined, and I think I just bring a little bit of chaos. That's my job.
Which I smooth out.
In a good way.
Nice.
In a good way.
Nice.
Yeah. We're both very different personalities, and we both bring something very different to the gym. And I think that's why it's been a success so far. If you'd have been here this morning when we had all our kids' classes, it's bedlam, and you have to be a little bit crazy to get involved in that.
Yes, I agree. I have two, they're growing, not quite so young, but I keep referencing the kind of 4 and 5 year olds. They don't care. They're just rolling around. They may not kind of slap and bump fists. They're just going for it. Double leg or not, they are going for it. So I can imagine the challenge you have on your hands. But how
But it
important
is so
is it?
rewarding. It is when you see
Good.
them progress. Especially, we have a lot of children with different challenges coming in the doors, and to see those guys progress despite the challenges that they have is amazing. It really is. It's heartwarming.
How important is it to you both? It sounds very important, but to bring through the next generation of, jiu-jitsu practitioners and people that love jiu-jitsu to kind of carry on the legacy of the sport.
I think the kids element to it is very important. I think the teens as well, some of the teens that are coming in, like 15, 16-year-olds, they have so much energy and so much enthusiasm for the sport, and they pick things up so quickly. And it is what everybody said, I should have started this sooner. I was 37 when I started jiu-jitsu 5 years ago. And you always want to start sooner. So you always, you're looking at the little 4 and 5-year-olds rolling around on the floor, and they have so much potential regardless of what they're if they can stick at it. And I think that's giving them an environment where they can keep coming back to it. They're not always going to be training, but if there's an open door that they can come in and out of, and somewhere that they feel safe and that they're going to grow, is really important. It's fantastic to watch.
It sounds a great kind of ethos and values around Nossa BJJ, and the fact that you're two women having founded this gym. It doesn't seem such commonplace. There are more men founding kind of jiu-jitsu gyms, so I really do feel like you're kind of setting the way for some of us to maybe think about kind of starting our own gyms. I'm not signing up, but what benefits has it given you as kind of females creating a space like this?
Well, we didn't do it alone. Like, we definitely had help. From people in the background, and certainly operating within the gym as well. Still to this day, you get a lot of help from your friends, and there's certain elements we definitely couldn't have achieved without those people. We didn't just do it, the two of us. There's always going to be a team behind you, pushing you, and helping you be the best you can be, and achieve what you have in your mind, with the vision that you have.
Mm-hmm. I think as well, since we have opened, we've spoken to numbers of different ladies who have said this is something that we want to do too. Even this morning, speaking to a girl, and she wants to open her own gym, different type of gym, MMA gym. So if we can, I don't want to say inspire, but if people can see what we're doing and go, well, why not? Why can't good? It's important.
I will just put it out there that you are inspirational, whether you think it or not. And sometimes you don't see it when you're in that situation, but it is really inspirational to see two. I was going to say young. We are young. We're all young. We're still masters in the jiu-jitsu world, kind of making space for future athletes, future kind of jiu-jitsu practitioners to come through and have that safe, welcoming space that just, feels nice. This episode is sponsored by Nossa BJJ, proudly based in Bangor, Northern Ireland. At Nossa BJJ, you're not just stepping onto the mats, you're becoming part of something special. It's a warm, family-friendly and inclusive space where everyone is welcome. Whether you're a total beginner, a seasoned grappler, or a kid ready to show the adults how it's done. Their Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu curriculum offers real structure, challenge, and support for all levels. Nossa offers monthly memberships plus discounts for blue light card holders and students. Curious to get involved? You can book a drop-in class or get in touch to take part in one of their free open mats. So, if you're in or around Bangor and looking for top-notch coaching, great people, and a place to truly grow on and off the mats, Nossa BJJ is where you want to be. Visit nossabjj.com to learn more and let them know you heard about it here on the Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast. This is a Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast with me, Lou Temlett, coming to you from the UK. One of the things that would really help this show grow is by you subscribing on whichever platform you are listening or watching on. If you could do that for me right now, I would be forever grateful. And as always, go and check out the clips on Instagram and YouTube. Today, I'm having a conversation with Danni Thomas-Watson and Karen McGurran. Ladies, so the intent for Nossa was to create a safe space and kind of open it up to everyone. Talk to me about what you're doing for women in Jiu-Jitsu specifically.
So aside from Nossa, we also organise women's open mats within the whole of Northern Ireland. So we will select a gym, we'll contact that gym and we'll ask if they'll host a women's open mat. And we'll generally do it like every 3 months. So it's a routine thing. We've hosted, 4 or 5 so far. It's going well. We've got a couple more in the books. One's coming very soon again. And it's just a really good opportunity for all the women and girls of Northern Ireland who are actively doing jiu-jitsu or they're interested in starting jiu-jitsu. It's a time for them to come together. We have grassroots to higher levels, to higher coloured belts, to come together and train. They just have that social aspect and get to know each other, that networking, because chances are we've probably already met them before. Through competition and things like that. The higher up the pyramid we go, the smaller the pool gets. So it's good to have those connections and meet those women and those girls.
That is incredible. And I think bringing so many young girls and kind of, mid-level and kind of older athletes or, jiu-jitsu practitioners to an open mat is a really great opportunity. We all love a bit of routine. And every 3 months sounds like a completely doable situation. When is your next open mat?
So the next one is actually next weekend. Next Sunday. Yeah, that's a gym down in Newry.
Fantastic. And what sort of numbers do you get at these open mats?
So I think the most we've ever had is like 40, maybe around that sort of number. Again, it can vary. Sometimes it could be 40, 20, 15, and then sometimes people's schedules conflict and you might get 10. But, the opportunity is there for those that can attend. We're not head counting like who's here, who's not. It's just be there if you can. We'll train, we'll have a good time, and we'll make the most of everybody who turns up.
Yeah. I think it's, we mentioned earlier about networking and making friendships on the mats that then last potentially a lifetime. Whilst we may be, fighting other women and friends on the mats, we can still kind of give everyone a hug and, walk away with a smile and a kind of longer term friendship. How important are those female friendships for both of you?
They're amazing. I think the jiu-jitsu community and the jiu-jitsu female community is so supportive. And we've seen that the whole way through our jiu-jitsu. Just because you have so much in common with these girls, you do the same thing. The crazy thing that you like to do, rolling around on the mat in other people's sweat. There's not too many other girls outside of jiu-jitsu. I mean, we're trying to bring them in all the time, trying to convert. But it gives you a bonding experience that the things that most people think are weird, we don't think are weird.
It's normal.
Yeah, it's normal to want to do these things. So those friendships are very precious, and they're some of my best friends I've met through jiu-jitsu, and they will continue to be, whether some of them are training, not training, off the mat. You can continue to have those friendships, and they're solid. Yeah,
guy mates got really good friends who are fellas, and ordinarily I probably wouldn't have those kind of friendships if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. For every walks of life. That's what everybody says about jiu-jitsu. One of the biggest selling points is that you meet so many different people and you form connections, and you know, a lot of the things we've had done on the gyms, again, like Danni said, was through the connections of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Amazing. I think jiu-jitsu has already filtered down those that are prepared to fight in other people's sweat and be dripped on and be, sliding across the mats. I'm still to do that, ladies. At some point I will, when a comp class probably upcoming. What has been your most fun experience in jiu-jitsu?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Probably our last women's camp.
Yeah.
I think I've been to lots of women's camps all over the UK and Europe and jiu-jitsu camps, mixed camps as well. But that's one of the things I always loved to do. And then when we opened Nossa, I was chatting to my physio and saying, we've opened this gym. I'm not going to be able to go away on all my jiu-jitsu holidays anymore. And he went, do your own. And I went, yeah. And Danni had already mentioned it to me, and we were like, yeah, we're going to do our own. And that weekend was one of the most fun experiences that we've had doing jiu-jitsu. Just hosting nearly 30 women, 3 black belts, and the crack that was had on the mats and off the mats, the same as what we discussed at the start, was amazing. And we're running another one at the end of August, and that, for us, with the fact that a lot of the women that came to the first one are coming to the second,
Amazing.
It makes you feel good about all the effort that you put in.
It just hit different because it was in our gym. It was in our own space.
Yeah.
Kind of where we kind of went, oh, we did this. This was actually pretty cool. Bringing all those women together to celebrate that weekend.
And bringing women together, yes, I think is really powerful.
It absolutely is. Now, Danni, before we started recording, I gathered that you are the organised one. Karen, maybe not quite so organised. So who does all the preparation and organisation? And what are your different roles for camps like the one at the end of August?
We're pretty 50-50. I definitely can't take on the praise for doing it all. I definitely couldn't do it all. I can't do it without Karen. I don't know. We're pretty organised together. We're a good team.
Danni likes to tell me what to do, and I do it.
I like that.
Definitely, like Danni can be more organised in the back office kind of thing, and then when we're all together, I'll do the yoga. Danni will do any of the jiu-jitsu that we need to do, and I think we just bounce off each other as well. It's a good balance. We have different strengths. But yeah,
Karen has a better social battery than me.
Sometimes.
That's fine. We all have to play. We all have to play to our strengths, whatever they are. But I think jiu-jitsu also allows us to know how we can be not strong as in power strength and kind of muscle strength, but it really is there to highlight some of the things that we are very good at and allow us to see some of the things that we might want to improve, or at least to know that, we'll just avoid them for the next competition.
Yeah, I think going to camp, that's a lot of things for the people that come to our camps. Yeah. A lot of them be coming on their own, or a lot of them, have to come in a pack. And it's the different types of people and how, because you come into a jiu-jitsu event, that it takes all that pressure away. You've always got something to talk to somebody about because you love jiu-jitsu, and that just levels the playing field for most people. And that's what I think is amazing about it.
Yeah, I think we could all talk about jiu-jitsu all the time, with ease. When you're in social situations, Danni, you'll resonate with this. Social battery. What do I talk about? What's the small talk? There is no question what we're talking about when jiu-jitsu women all get together.
Yeah, totally. I normally beeline for anyone, but jiu-jitsu is actually, it's kind of popular now, probably more so than it's ever been before. So normally if you're in a social event, you hear someone talking about UFC, MMA, I'm straight over there because I know that I can steer the conversation into jiu-jitsu, and that's me happy for however long for the rest of the night. It's all good.
Amazing. It does absolutely make our social lives so much easier because we have something of depth that we can talk about for hours and hours and hours and hours, if people are willing to hang around. But let's return to the kind of camps and the holidays. Karen, when you said that you felt that you may not be able to go away on holidays, but actually a number of us always have the gi in the back of the car, are willing to pack up and get on a plane or a boat and travel to wherever. Now, when you were holidaying in the UK, where else have you been? I know you've been to Barcelona this year. But where else have you travelled for jiu-jitsu, both of you?
So anytime we both go on holiday, we'll find a gym that we're training at. So this year, Barcelona, I was in Portugal for a camp. I went and trained in Marcella's in New York this year. Last year, there was another Portugal trip. Yeah, you train every time you go on holiday as well.
Yeah,
it's just a thing you do. You pack your gi, and I'd encourage that as well. We have a very open door policy here. So if anybody is traveling through Northern Ireland and they want a gym to drop into, then definitely hit us up through Instagram or email or contact us personally. The door is always open for visitors. We really enjoy that. It's a good. Yeah.
We encourage cross training as well, even with our own members. It's certainly not one of them things that's off the table. We're actively encourage people to train. It's something I wholeheartedly believe in.
Yeah. Now, talk to me about the importance of coaching and kind of the preparation and the shift for you, Danni, in having a much more kind of coaching approach with Nossa BJJ and your kind of progression since you've kind of opened.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a difference. You kind of have to. I don't want this to sound like, but there's a good deal of sacrifice involved to switch your focus from your own progression. I mean, when we opened Nossa, I was a purple belt, so still very much on my own journey and still very much learning from myself, but having to sort of reprioritize my journey for bringing on our new white belts. We were a baby gym. Our intake was all brand new people and bringing them up. And we've recently promoted one of our blue belts there. He just got his blue belt and he's homegrown, so he's come in. Now he's got a blue belt. So that in itself, for me, is a sense of achievement. Like, look what this guy can now do from not wholly on me, but that's what we've created. We've now got a homegrown blue belt, which is, for me, was quite a big milestone. In the sense of, my coaching style, I've done a lot of homework on coaching. I've certainly looked at the traditional way of coaching and also got more into the CLA approach of coaching as well, because I'm a big believer in people will learn in different ways. So, I could probably teach someone, this is how you do an arm bar. Okay, show them once, you'll try it, and the standard way of learning. But for someone else, they might actually have to physically do it over and over and over and over and over again, and with active resistance in order to get that. So it's understanding what will work for one might not work for another. And I think the onus is then on the coach to go away and learn and how to understand and how to impart that knowledge and those skills. So I think been on a whole different coaching trajectory to be a better coach. But there's definitely been some sacrifice to my own progression as well. But it's just getting the balance right. It's important.
Thank you for having that sacrifice. And I think whenever we transition from focusing on our own journey to supporting others' journeys, it is quite a shift. So I want to kind of, give you your kind of flowers for that one. But also, how did it feel promoting your very first blue belt?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. He wasn't the only one. There's others got belts as well that were wholeheartedly deserved. But I think having a homegrown one, the very first one, it was pretty special. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good.
I've seen that progression across.
Yeah.
To having mainly white belts on the mat to having, I took comp class and it was all coloured belts. So having that progression for the gym as a whole is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I also want to say congratulations again to your own promotions. How was that for you, Danni, getting your blue belt, your brown belt? Sorry.
Demoted you.
Demoted me. I was surprised. It did overwhelm me. I didn't really have myself pegged as a weeper, but yeah, I did. I was quite overwhelmed. I was surprised. Yeah, very surprised, and it was wonderful. It was it was a great honor to get it from Ross as well, to have him here. But yeah, a bit of a weep.
It's so nice. It's so nice. And a very worthy brown belt. And to be promoted in your own gym as well. That must have felt quite special.
Yeah, it was nice. It was just nice to have everyone around, and yeah, it was lovely. It was a really great weekend, having Ross over as well. Yeah. Good 7.
And Karen, your progression from blue to purple.
Yeah, it's scary. I need bumps under my belt to get used to it, I think. But Danni giving me a purple belt means so much. We've worked our asses off the last 2 years on the gym and on our jiu-jitsu, and it just means a lot that we're.
I love the fact that you are both progressing together, and it sounds like such an incredible partnership that has many, many years of growth and prosperity and all just amazing things. Do you have any vision for Nossa BJJ, but equally for your own jiu-jitsu journeys?
Well, I think we want to grow and expand is the number one, and that's always been the trajectory. We wanted to start off small, to build and organically grow. But I think coming up, we are ready to take the next step and expand. So watch the space. Yeah.
So exciting. Now, talk to me a little bit more about the camps upcoming and bringing more black belts to Northern Ireland.
It's always good to get black belts over here. I mean, like I say, we've got such a great community within Northern Ireland and within the Republic of Ireland as well. There's so many top talent black belt females down in the south, and like just bringing it all together, collectively. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Amazing. I am very impressed at your attitude and your kind of, whether you feel it or not, the pride and just the growth. Even since meeting you last year, you've dialed it up a notch, both of you. So I'm really pleased to see your progress and continued success.
Thank you. Thanks. That means a lot. Thank you.
How can people follow the Nossa journey and, see how you're improving, progressing and bringing on and kind of promoting more belts through your ranks?
So we have a pretty active Instagram page. It's probably the most active of our social medias. So yeah, Instagram, Nossa BJJ is our handle. So yeah, you can give us a follow and keep up with us.
Amazing. So whereabouts in Northern Ireland are you based, and where do we all need to head to?
So you all need to get over to Bangor, which is in County Down, which is about 20 minutes just outside of Belfast. So that's where you'll find us.
Amazing. Havgi will travel. I know where the airport is.
We'll come and get you. We'll come and get you, Lou. No problem.
Amazing. I think I'm free that weekend. We'll discuss that after we finish recording. Anyway, thank you, ladies. I really appreciate you taking time out this evening. And I said I wasn't going to mention time of day. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I really appreciate you taking time out to speak to me, and I will be seeing you very soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for telling your friends about this show. And as soon as this episode ends, I'd really appreciate you dropping the show a rating and a review. Thanks again for listening. Catch you on the next episode of the Jiu-Jitsu Lou podcast.